And Sam wants to be fully transparent, right? This is not a secret. I mean, the whole point of a book is you want to set the standard and say, this is what everyone else in the industry is saying about your legal, about safety, about, we even have Anizeo, and I think we had another compounder and another, who was the stem cell guy that was in here? Like everybody sharing.
What's up, brother? Good to see you.
It's been a few months since Orlando.
Yeah, man. How was you were going to Pakistan, weren't you?
Pakistan, yeah.
Yeah. How was your trip?
We signed 3 MOUs.
Nice.
Government, basically. One of them, they have 2.5 million people. It was with the head of all the madrasas, which is their university kind of school mosque integrated thing.
Yeah.
One is with the largest set of incubators, and another one is with the guy who runs the largest group of basically entrepreneurs in the world. I think he's got 1.3 million students in his group.
Holy cow. What is that one called?
That one is Extreme Commerce by Sunny Ali. And Sunny, between all the stores that he operates on Amazon, is number 4 in terms of volume of anybody on Amazon.
That's crazy.
So Pakistan is the up and coming. It was India 25 years ago. It was the Philippines 10 years ago. Now it's Pakistan. Countries, they go through these stages basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have 4 or 5 developers in Pakistan, and we have a ton of VAs in the Philippines, which is natural for that. But you were saying that Pakistan's going to pick up the VA.
Yeah, I think is going to be the next Philippines or Pakistan or whatever, because you've got Eastern European quality. It's almost Western quality at Eastern European prices. So it's $500 a month for somebody full time. Yeah,
that's what we use. And I think we only have like 6 right now VAs. At one point we have 10, but it's just, and they work our hours. One of them has his master's in digital marketing.
Yeah,
and we're paying them $6 an hour. It's crazy.
I just hired one I should have done this like 10 years ago, but I've been finicky. I got an executive assistant, and this guy is classy. He's got a great British accent. He doesn't seem like he's from Pakistan at all. His EQ is really high. He can talk to CEOs. He can double as me.
See, I tried Philippines for EA, and I went through 3. I used this software called Belay, this company.
Yep.
Now I have an American base, and she's been life-changing. It's just obviously more expensive, but yeah.
Hey, you're paying $30 to $75 an hour, but they're good.
Yeah, I think she's $5,700 a month, but it's just for the event. She's doing all my sponsor follow-up. She's already gotten us 110,000 in sponsors. I can't really pay for herself.
There's ROI.
Yeah.
The other one is called Fancy Hands, and they're American VAs, and it's like $5 a task. And you buy these subscription plans, and I've been using them for, 12 years. I've probably done 7,000 tasks. Anything they're clever. They will call people on the phone. There's no accent because they're basically house moms.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Well, yeah, man, I've got a call at 2, and Sam told me to jump on. So I'm not quite sure what we're doing.
Let's make the most of this. All right. So Sam's book, which we are printing in the next 10 days, we've gotten the who's who. And the title is How to Win in Modern Wellness, the impatient customers who want trackable results. All the people, Ben Crosby, the CEOs of Restore, Chris Davis, basically all the top people in IV, like the people that you know. And it's going, I'll send this to you if you want to see it, but we've injected quotes. Initially, it was Sam telling his story as a firefighter and then discovering IV and expanding Liquivita, but then he came out here to our studio in Vegas. We recorded the whole thing, but then it ended up almost being a brochure for opening up your own Liquivita. And I said, let's have these other people give their view on how this is a blue ocean and what's the difference between opening an integrated center versus your own standalone, and what are the other sorts of, and then there's things like this. Tony Robbins has his, and
I've read it.
All these people, they're demanding, they want to live forever, they want semaglutide, they want all the different things that they want. And we're talking about what the trends are. The audience is the healthcare entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right? And just wanted to get your feedback on any of these components, because you're obviously super well connected. And I think you and Sam were going to have a webinar today, but something happened.
Yeah, we have our coaching program for IV clinics on how to grow and scale. And we have a heavy emphasis on memberships, just because if you talk to Ben and Jim from Restore, that's all they care about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just that recurring model is to me, it's an important piece. And I've heard objections. Well, I'm mobile, I can't do a membership. That's just not true. The biggest ones can't, because they can't keep up with the demand. But the ones who are struggling to get clients, if they could just get $5,000 in recurring revenue, their life is much easier because it's not month to month. And I mean, if you want me to, do you want me to talk to the marketing side of Ivy?
Yeah. And then if you want, we could take what you have to say because we're transcribing this. And then Sam had said that because Emmanuel left the company abruptly and we're replacing other parts that he had said here, maybe we could just turn that into the forward of the book and just promote the heck out of it. Because I have the best-selling book in social media on Amazon right now. It's on TikTok.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And from publishing books that are running conferences, a third of it is the content itself and most of it's promos. We've got a ton of promo around this book and we would love to obviously promote you, which promotes the Ivy Biz Bash and everything else. Coaching.
Yeah, we've got just from that event and just our network, and we have the Facebook group, and we have Jeff Cohen doing a webinar tomorrow. We had over 400 people signed up for.
Yeah, Jeff's Jeff's amazing.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So we can definitely help promote it. And I think just whatever will add value to the group, to the book. And I can do the marketing side because I've spent an insane amount of money in IV marketing and run so many campaigns.
Yeah, let's talk about that because there's a lot of details. It kind of Ivy Biz Bash, everyone sharing their best stuff. Yeah, stuff on marketing all the way down to whatever level of detail you want. And then we will chop that up and turn those into social media posts to get people into the book. It's promoted here at the same time, which is great in the conference and all that. Yeah,
I told Sam we'll promote it across all of our channels. And I think the biggest thing I've seen in marketing in this space is it's new. No, there's a 4, I always say. It's new, it's expensive, nobody's really heard of it, it's not covered by insurance, and most of the time you got to get poked by a needle. But people aren't jumping at the opportunity, especially during a recession, which we're already in, and it's only going to get worse. People open these clinics, and whether it's integrative or IV, they think people are just going to run to the door, and it's just not the case. You really need to train your staff heavily. What I see a huge mistake is the front line of the people answering the phones. They get all the objections, and they're not trained. They're getting paid $10 an hour, and they have no clue how to handle the objections. And most of the time, you look at guys saying with Levita, they have metrics, but most of these clinics don't. They don't know how many calls they have, how many leads to booked appointments to show no shows they have. There's a huge disconnect with metrics and training. And that's why we started a coaching company. And that's why we did IV Biz Bash, because it was like, there's no one doing an event to help these people because it's here. And once you get an IV, I'm all in. This was amazing. My first one, full disclosure, was a hangover one 8 years ago. And I was like, what? I don't have to be hungover? This is the best thing ever. And I think you have to be able to, and one thing that Alex Ramosi talks about in $100 million offers is list out all the objections, create your scripts. It's usually the same 10 or 12 objections. Too expensive. I don't have time. It doesn't work. I'll just take a supplement. And then we literally just did an hour deep dive into objections of IV therapy. And it's, once you have those scripts, and we always tell people, my best to handle objections, feel, felt, found. I understand you feel that way. I understand you feel it's expensive. Other clients have felt that way too. But what they found is the return on investment is giant when they have their energy for their kids or they're sleeping better and the feel, felt, found. What I've seen is there's just not a ton of training when it comes to your frontline staff answering the phones, greeting people at the door, and then the nurses training on selling memberships or upselling, and the drip bars, the Locovitas, the restores, they invest heavily in training, which is why they're the leaders in the space. And whenever I see someone with 10 employees and they haven't done a ton of training with their clients, you're in trouble, because those are the people they're going to talk to. Those are the people that are going to get the objections. When it comes to marketing this, I think the other thing is owners tend to think that everyone knows what it is and the benefits. And I still have friends. I'll have an IV truck outside my house and they'll drive by and be like, what are you doing? What do you mean you can get an IV at your house? And then if you're in the space, everyone has to know about this, but they don't. And you go to the ER, you get an IV, it's $3,000. $250 is kind of a steal compared to normal medicine. And then when it comes to the marketing side, I just see a lot of timidness because a lot of people are coming from medical. For me, I'm a send an email a day guy. If they unsubscribe from your email list, they weren't going to buy from you anyways. I'll send an email a day, and whoever's not on the list because they unsubscribe, that's fine. Provide massive value, provide good content, but you make sure your email is definitely not dead. Our companies, we drive more revenue from email than anything else. And then getting out the influencer market right now, especially in a space this is huge. And there's sites now that make it used to be hard. You probably know how hard it was to find a good influencer and connect with them. And now with technology, it's just easy to just leveraging influencers, give them free memberships as long as they promote it every time they get a product or get a service. And based on the type of interaction return, you can stop it after 3 months or keep it going. So there's there's a ton of different strategies. And we had the most success through social ads. When you're doing to a cold audience in a new city, Facebook, Instagram, they leveled the playing field across marketing over the last 10 years. You can brand and do lead gen, and you're not having to spend $3 million on a TV commercial. And you have the book on TikTok. If you're not on TikTok right now, then you're just crazy. And especially with something like this. So in a short time, that's just the things off the top of my head. And I think, again, marketing is appealing to people's emotions and justifying it with logic. And if you want successful marketing, it's pretty simple. It sounds simple, at least. Marketing is just this: getting in front of the right person at the right time with the right offer and with the right, that's really it. I think that's it. I think there's a fourth I have in there somewhere, but it's getting in front of the right person at the right time in the right place and with the right offer. And so if your customer base is baby boomers, because a lot of our clients, they're heavy hitting baby boomers because they're retiring, they have money. It's the largest transfer of wealth in the history of the world. Hey, do you want to play an extra 18 holes this week? Get an IV. And just know that they're not on TikTok probably, although they will be, but they're on Facebook and they're on MySpace and it's dead, but they're on, the average user on Facebook is like what, 50 and above? You probably know these stats better than me. Early 40s, and it's gone. You can almost generalize. Like Facebook's 40, Instagram's 30, TikTok's 20.
But TikTok is now 30. TikTok
30's up to
from 23 to 31.
That has to be much faster than Instagram. Instagram took a while for the older population to adopt it.
Yeah, TikTok's revenue is about to surpass Facebook's. It's just going straight up.
Well, they fixed their ad platform. It's really ad friendly, whereas before it wasn't. One of our companies, we spend over $300K a month on ads, and TikTok is a huge lead generator for us. And so, and then Google, obviously it's a higher cost per lead, a higher cost per acquisition, but at least they're searching you directly and they're finding you. But there's other ways instead of ads. Google My Business. Eventually, Google's doing lead gen, trying to compete with Home Advisor and those guys.
Medical's coming, right? The dentists were supposed to be in local service ads 2 weeks ago, but Google delayed that. But anything, because the whole point with LSA is certification. Yeah. And obviously you have to have a nurse and a doctor overseeing this. So all the other medical categories I hear from my friends at Google are opening up. Yeah. Going to compete. They're selling leads, and it's automatically generated based on what's in your GMB. Yeah. It's incredible. And the cost per lead is ridiculous.
Yes. And I run a lead gen company. We have to be elsewhere besides Google because they're going to try and take Angie's List, Home Advisor, all these companies. Getting killed by this. Google, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk said the only company that scares them is Google. They control everything. So in a short time, that's, if I boiled it down, it's heavily training your staff, but you have to have leads to train your staff. You have to have some sort of lead generation strategy. And if you're a TikToker, then use TikTok, but just make sure your ideal customer is on TikTok. Make sure they're in their 30s and they fit your demographics of what your offer is or what you're offering.
A lot of franchisees, they're responsible for their own marketing, even though there's a central marketing fund and the central brand has to do the SEO. How do they figure out what they need to do? You mentioned running Facebook ads, lead ads, maybe on TikTok, and updating the Google business profile to be as robust as possible. But I see a lot of franchisees where they believe, just in any kind of franchise, that if they open up in a great location and have a website, that they're already there. The people are going to just start calling, but it's not.
Yeah, I have equity in a franchise in Canada, and we have a lot of our strategies come from, I wouldn't even call them influencers, but Facebook group owners. Facebook groups are a great way. Just become best friends with the admin. I follow Roland's strategy of acquiring it, and you can't acquire a Facebook. Yeah.
A lot of people Roland is when you mention Roland. Yeah.
Well, Roland Fraser is my idol. I've gotten to meet him. He's just a genuinely good dude. And I've seen a lot of business content, and his is the best. Him and Barry Belcher and those guys and Ryan Dice. What I would say is find out if your ideal customer is a mom, and if you're doing integrated medicine, you're doing Botox and IV therapy and anti-aging, find the mom groups, Facebook groups in your local area as a local franchisee, because your franchisor isn't at the local level. They can give you strategies and help you, but it's on you to go build those relationships, and then just give them a free session or free IV or free Botox and have them promote you to their Facebook group. What a lot of people hear me say that, and they just go to the group and post. That's not what I'm saying. Become best friends with the admin. That's the rule. If you're not best friends with the admin, you're just another person in the group, and take them out to lunch. There's strategies. I used to send a $100 bill to anyone I wanted to meet with and say, I'm paying you $100 for your time. Please just 15 minutes for $100. And they'd always give me the $100 back, but I got 15 minutes. And there's ways to get in front of people that are creative. Now with handwritten.io, you can send handwritten letters automatically. There's no excuse for not standing out. You've got to find ways to stand out. And when it comes to local franchisees, finding those local influencers who aren't the Kardashians, they're running a Facebook group of 5,000 members that are all your ideal customer. And then you become best friends with them. Or even like a local website in Jacksonville, if you're going to launch a brand, Jack's mom's blog is the number one thing. And she just built this thing and you pay her for it, but it's the return on investment's significantly higher than any kind of ad spend.
Chris, is there a checklist that we can include in this book that has your top 20 list of things, campaigns, tactics?
Yeah, I've got
5 or 6 just now.
We actually just went through a checklist on memberships, and I can have my team kind of curate all that into, are you talking lead gen, or are you talking just having a successful integrative medicine practice?
I think the lead gen is the one I hear that has the most pain. And then we can use that as a swipe and deploy or put on a landing page and just elevate you. We can SEO for it, drive traffic. I have 5.5 million people in my email list. My ebook site has 1 million organic visitors a month. I'd love to promote.
Yeah.
And
I'm happy to do that.
And then people it's if you check out what the other things that are in this book, this, and then everyone's contributing these nuggets, right?
Yeah, man. And we got to get you speaking in Ivy Biz Bash this year. For real. Because I think I got to meet you at the last one. But man, you could drop some serious nuggets to the group.
It's all the same people. My Perry Marshall's my co-author. I won the Wicked Smart Award at War Room a couple times ago before they shut.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I'm a frequent publisher and trainer on Digital Marketer. I mean, all of that.
Yeah.
It's all.
Well, Damon and Ryan and Roland just launched a new mastermind. I think I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Damon, I bought him. I got drunk with him at his house, and then I got him a cotton candy machine.
Oh yeah, Perry's. I've gotten to meet him a few times, and he's just one of the funniest people I've ever met. But he's sit there and talk about quizzes. I could talk to him about quiz landing pages all day. We literally, I think over some old fashions, talked about quizzes for an hour straight. My brother was like, "Are you guys the biggest nerds I've ever met?" I was like, "Yeah."
Well, watch what happens with these quizzes where you can do the interactive videos. We're doing deep faking out of Descript using Overdub and some of these other tools, old Tolstoy, which I can show you later when we have more time. But the interactive quizzes that are integrated in bots that simulate your voice and video believably are the next thing.
We need to, because I have this.
I'll show you how. It is incredible. It will blow your mind. If we have like 3 minutes, I'll show you how.
Yeah. You and I will reconnect because I have this health insurance lead gen company, man. It's just blowing up. I can't even, the amount of money people spend on health insurance leads is insane. And I didn't realize it. We launched a brand into that, and it's just, we can't even keep up with the growth. And I think someone like you we could have some good combos. So, but yeah, I mean, if I was going to talk to a franchisee opening an integrative medicine clinic, the biggest thing is you have to meet your customer where they live, and they don't live where you live in total belief that this is a good solution for them. They read LifeForce, so they're kind of into it. They might spend a little bit of money, but they need education. They need more consultative sales. What are you really wanting? Goal setting. And when you're advertising to them, you need to speak their language, because I think I know I can, as a marketer, just start talking gibberish and slang and acronyms and all this stuff. Meet them with the language they understand that ties to their emotion, and then justify with an irresistible offer with logic. And just don't expect people to run to your doors. I think that's the biggest challenge. When you open a franchise, the overhead can be 50 to 100,000 a month, and you need to do how many procedures to cover that. And one of the things we do, no matter what, if I'm launching a new franchise, is a 45-day lead up. And I'm sure you know this. It's like 45 days. You're doing a soft opening for VIPs and having them post about it. You're creating a wait list. You're setting up memberships before you start at an early bird discount. Your first month's covered before you even open the doors. And I don't see a lot of that. I see, the doors are open, let's advertise. And now you're 45 days behind.
Well, Chris, this is great. If you can just give us those checklists for marketing, or maybe even examples of other pre-launch grand opening 45-day checklists, we can just sort of mix and match and show here's the different tips that these other experts have. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. I've got the one we use for my franchise in Canada. It's our launch. It's a 30-day one, because theirs is, we get our overheads lower. We don't need as much because we almost get too many people in the door. But yeah, I can, and then I'll put together, we've got, through our coaching program, we've got tons of checklists and things that I can combine and get you about 20 top lead gen strategies for integrative medicine.
Amazing. And then for your bio, what do you want to have included? Or you can just send it over, the speaker bio too, or your coaching program.
Yeah.
Because our whole thing is to make you look good. Everyone that's contributed, we're elevating them as the X, because we got 15 now. folks that are contributing expertise.
Sweet. Yeah, because I've written 2 books and then writing a third, and then obviously founded IV Biz Bash, and then 3 Hour Mastery, which is we just restructured the whole thing where we have all these different programs where you can master a certain thing in under 3 hours, where we just break it down to the simplest possible but executable. And we founded that, and then we have equity in 16 companies, and just I ran a digital agency for 12 years, and my dad did sales training for 40. So I mastered digital marketing and sales. So I just have a weird brain that can grow anything.
Amazing. Well, Chris, this is great. You hit it out of the park with this piece. So I can't wait
thanks, man.
I think it should probably be its own chapter, but we could turn it into a forward as well, depending on what you prefer. I'll send you over the manuscript and you can look at it. But we're tight on time, so we have to move quick.
Yeah, I was in meetings all day. I was like, dude, I got these 2 slots. But if you want me to do a forward, I can talk more, because I've been working with Sam for a while. If you want me to talk more about Sam,
I think you should have the forward. I think that carries more power, especially you have with Sam. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So do you want me to just write something up about, because he and I could do something now in 3 minutes. Just
gonna
talk. Yeah. I mean, I met Sam, and based on his background as a firefighter, just incredibly high integrity, but he also just has this insane attention to detail. And I've met entrepreneurs who don't know metrics, and this guy knows his metrics. He knows everything about it. And watching him interact with his franchisees and his team, he just deeply cares about their well-being. And just when we decided to do IV Biz Bash in under 4 months, and we really started selling tickets 2 months before, he was all in. Whatever we needed, he was there to help. Extremely knowledgeable. He's just one of the forefathers of the space. And I think you'll see Locavita as one of the top companies in the country over the next 10 years. And I've just been incredibly grateful to spend time with, because I'm not a detail guy. I'm the entrepreneur who doesn't know details, and I have a team, but he's a combination of both. And I've just been grateful to see somebody with so many, he's like a Swiss Army knife. He's got so many little skill sets that all into being an incredibly powerful entrepreneur. And one of those is heart. He just has a huge heart for this industry, to see him at our event where he was just pouring into people and just giving away everything he had. And there was no motive for him. There was benefit, I'm sure, but it was, he cares deeply about people. He cares about the industry and wants to make sure it's being done right, so that we can protect ourselves and our clients and the entire space. And just glad I got to know him. I don't know if he told you the story. I cold called him, and he ignored me for months, because he gets 100 cold calls a day. And I finally pinned him down, and I'm going to be in West Palm Beach. I was not going to be in West Palm Beach, by the way. I drove all the way down to West Palm Beach, 4.5 hours, met with him, brought him some cookies. And to this day, he brings it up. And he was just open. We were supposed to meet for 30 minutes. He gave me an hour and a half. And as someone who gets 100 cold calls a day as well, to see how he handled that situation, how he handled me. And then even through the years of knowing each other, he just has always been there when I needed something. And I've always been there for him. And it's just because there's a mutual respect of people who want to do things right and want to do things big. You can do things big and do them right. And he's one of those guys that I think we're the same age too. And he's going to be on the cover of a lot of magazines in the coming years.
Wow. Fantastic. Any quick thoughts on why this is the right book for healthcare entrepreneurs that want to get into IV?
Well, I mean, Sam's one of the most connected dudes in the space. You're going to learn from the top experts across all the different parts of it. If you're a healthcare entrepreneur and you don't read this, then you're just basically saying, I don't want to hear from the forefathers, the smartest people in the industry. You got guys in your company's worth $500 million. If you're not reading this, then you're going to cost yourself 10 years, because you could have saved yourself 10 years by just hearing what someone 10 years ahead of you did. So I think if you're a healthcare entrepreneur, you got to pick it up, and you're going to get the straightforward facts and not a lot of fluff, based on my conversations with you and conversations with Sam.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Chris. We'll give you this recording and the transcript probably later today or tomorrow. And then any sort of I don't know if you have a legal or PR team, but all these other guys, the bigger companies do. We just give everyone a shot to look at it in case you want to add a comment or revise things.
Yeah, I've got our team, and we'll have them look over everything. But based on your reputation and everything, I don't think I have a whole lot to worry about.
Yeah. And you're not making any claims. There's nothing that's going to get anyone in trouble. That's good.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. Medical marketing. Don't make crazy claims, because you will get in trouble.
Awesome, Chris. Well, you're the best. Thanks for making time. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Dennis. We'll see you in October. I'll see you on stage, bro.
October, bro. Count me in.
All right, man. All right, man.
All right.
All right, buddy.